closer than people expect, but I'm fully prepared for Liquid to just absolutely dominate at the same time. Know that the Liquid fans are going to be out in their numbers, but you know, we've got to give it up to Pompa as well, because they are an up-and-coming team with a lot of drive and dedication to put themselves forward. Dreamhack Tour 2018 Quake 2v2 Open. Group A has begun.
Look at the roster suit.
We've got a Strog.
And a what? A Strog and a what?
And a Pika?
And a visor.
Okay, sorry.
A Strog visor. I got up against the Doom and the Galena. I'm actually really curious to see how Liquid... I know Dehang has been playing a ton of Strog. This is one of the few teams that, you know, listened to you and I when we were theorizing Galena and Strog. Totally kidding. They probably thought of it themselves. They did think of themselves. But they're one of the pioneers of Strog in North America, and I'd say in general in Quake. But to pair it up with a visor, that's what I'm really curious about.
That's interesting, because we've seen him go well with Galena as well. Like, that's already a proven theory that we came up with. Which,
yeah, we totally did.
Yeah, exactly.
Nailed it.
But now with the visor, getting that extra information, I'm very interested in that. We've got Rafa taking down Pikava.
So one thing we should talk about from what we did see yesterday, a lot of emphasis out of most teams, if not all, to locking down this room, this rail room that you can see Dehang currently in. Control this, you control the rail, you control the pivot points between Mega and Heavy, and you control the power-up. So far, Liquid, though, hasn't really given it as much control as I was kind of expecting. It's just been more a little bit loose around the map, trying to find these skirmishes around these 2v1s, which we're currently having now, and then just kind of using that as a jumping point.
So far, Pompa haven't done too badly in combat. I think we saw Pikava earlier almost getting a 1 versus 2. They should be able to bring it to a 1-frag game now. Yep, nicely done. We can start looking at the Pompa players. Everyone now on the map is going to have to start thinking about, right, how am I going to set up for the first quad, or first power-up, spawning 2 minutes into the game.
Can you go to Dehang for me, actually? I want to see what he's going to do here. If he has Peeker and if he's going to use it specifically for the power-up. Because that gives you so much control. You can do like 100 damage before they even get to you and give you like a relatively early 2-on-1. But with FaZe going down with 3 seconds on quad, there's almost no chance that Pikawa's going to be able to get in here. And you see just how strong Peeker can be. Oh! FaZe, he comes in with the Berserk. He's got the quad. Can he get another punch? He gets the kill on a Rafa. I was not expecting him to be able to do that, and he's been able to. That Berserk on Doom, you can never underestimate it.
He's going to get a frag over there, having Pikava like sort of bait the damage a little bit. He's got to be very careful. He was about to kill himself, I think, and now he's going to watch out. He's like, you know what? Hold on. There's only 10 seconds left. There's no point making unnecessary risks and, you know, making it an extra, you know, frag difference between the two teams. They could be happy that they didn't suffer to the wrath of Liquid then.
And potentially, you know, running out and giving Liquid that quad could see 2 deaths for themselves. So very smart to just hold on to it. Pikawa's been able to get a kill on Rafa, and I think that's the 3rd time FaZe has been taken down by Peeker. But that's what he gives you. Yeah, he gives you vision around the map if you see someone for your teammate, but that explosive damage of 100, it's basically a mid-air or like a direct rocket of free damage.
Well, you've got to get yourself ready to, you know, destroy that Pika. It's taking about between 80, 100 damage to do it, so usually a rail or a rocket or something like that will take it out. You know, I've seen things like Dire Orbs also destroying the Pika. But they've got to work out how to counter that extra damage a little bit and be prepared for it, because every time they're kind of getting surprised, it seems.
Well, currently 14-9 as Liquid is starting to extend the lead here. Going into our protection, 30 seconds to go on that. We'll have Heavy and Mega spawned in before, so there's going to be an opportunity to secure both those. You can see Rafa kind of spread out ahead of Dehang and kind of telling him to come help you out Mega, making sure to secure the power. But FaZe's been able to actually take 1 kill, almost gets the 2nd.
That was a great exchange for Pompa.
Actually, does get 2. Wow.
They needed that. I like how FaZe moved in right at the end on the flank. He's going to find Rafa on the bounce pad. That's never a good place to get caught out on. Oh, the Pika comes out. A good rail though from FaZe. Looking for further damage. Will miss the shot in the end, but he needs to have Pikava nearby. He's got rockets out. Totem to help him will heal up a bit. He's hoping that FaZe is going to be able to come down real soon.
I think Rafa did secure the protection, right?
Oh, yeah,
Dehang did. So, funny enough, Peeker gets the protection as well as quad. So that's going to be a flying robot that's going to be so hard to kill if he wasn't hard enough already.
Oh, nice little rocket there. Small juke from the Pompa player. Oh, bye-bye. Pikava. He's going to fall into the outskirts of the out of bounds of the map. It's like, oh, you stopped me there from getting the mega health? Well, here's 100 damage, and you're going to regret picking up that item.
We only got 1 kill off that, right? For protection.
I think so, but they netted a couple overall
right,
with the setup.
All right, so actually Pompa putting up a good fight, more than I expected. I mean, I think it was either going to be, I thought in general it was going to be a very one-sided match for Liquid, but keeping it close. Obviously, the next quad is going to be a big turning point, potentially for pompa.
I don't. It's not out of the question that they could form some kind of comeback at the moment.
Oh,
the hang was going in. It looked like it was 1 versus 2, but I think one of the players ran away. Good damage onto Rafa. This phase again hitting an unreturned rail, but he's kind of weak now.
So you remember how we've seen a lot of suicides of like rockets into someone and you die as well as killing them, or do you just die, period? I was talking to the hang yesterday and he brought up the point, or Rafa did, sorry, that if you suicide and kill someone, or even just suicide like that, you actually drop your own health vial as strong that you can pick up. So you can overstack. Really? If you run back to where you died and you kill the person, you can actually overstack yourself by 25 HP. So you get health off of your own death if you're the one to kill yourself.
Well, you do start with 125 out of 150 as well, so it's either overstack or
just full health.
Get to your full natural. So it's always helpful to have those extra resources. At 14 for 23, we're 10 seconds away from quad. We can quickly jump into comms for Liquid.
I missed everything.
They're weak. They're weak.
Okay.
Is that rail? Trying to get Mega now.
You got it, you got it.
I did 100 to him, and they're going banana.
Okay.
Nature at Mega. Probably going LG.
Mega clear.
Heavy about to spawn. He's at rail.
Elbow. Okay.
About to run out like 33. Fuck, I use sight, I'm dead. Doom is about to get Mega.
Yeah, they got
8.
We can get Mega red 51 or so.
Yeah,
I'll be there last second.
Both near rocket.
Although we saw Liquid just then losing out on the quad damage, you could see the comms trying to always keep a track of where quad is. Oh god! Rip phase. And I like the shout out for Elbow as well, just by lightning gun and teleporter exit.
I also like how calm they kind of, or like you mentioned, like calm they were when they didn't have quad, and even the deaths they did have, there's zero sense of frustration in their voices. I wouldn't be in the same boat. I would be raging, as you know personally.
Exactly.
But this is still like pompa, even with that quad being taken, they came within like 3 frags.
That's pretty impressive, but they've got to make sure that the game is really strong for them outside of the power-ups as well. Oh, Picava turning around, finishing off that frag with the nail gun. Heavy armor is going to be taken too, so if he can get a couple of health bubbles, he can really have inherited a decent stack.
Also got the hourglasses, so he's going to be able to heal himself in just a second. Just have the Ko off to the side, or sorry, Phrase off to the side to help out. Totem, unfortunately, did miss, but it's also in a position that maybe he can heal from, and could be sneaky if anyone drops down into this. Rafa gets a nice rocket off, actually trades places with him, knocking him onto the low ground. But Kawa's not able to get the kill, he's actually still alive somehow.
That position's really, really tricky. Both of the pompa players are going down. I don't really like that he dropped to the lower floor. FaZe has come back. He's trying to chase on and get himself the protection, but otherwise it's going to be a 1 versus 1. I say that, and the hang comes out with the rail and finishes the job anyway. Rafa, although he's not super strong, he should be kind of fine with this 66% absorption. Kava's going to fly into the air to his doom.
I see what you did there.
It would be better if it was FaZe. Right?
Yeah, it would have been better, but it was still a good try. So Rafa's going to net himself, I think, about 3-4 kills positive off of this. Unfortunately, not going to hit that rocket jump, but they're still maintaining a very healthy 10 frag lead. And pompa, I mean, they put up a good fight so far. They're just seeming to miss that little extra oomph they need to take control of the map. Then again, you're playing against time-tested players, land champions.
Yeah.
Very difficult to take that away from them, especially with them being one of those teams that actually has the theory behind the game. And a player like Rafa to organize how they do play. 9-minute mark can be approached. The hang is a nice little nail killer on the face. They're going to transition, it looks like, over to Mega.
I think pompa have actually been fairly solid. If they could have secured more power-ups, I think the game would be even closer between them. But with the sort of minute and a half around the power-ups, there's something lackluster. There isn't the same coordination. They're not getting as many 2 versus 1s or just positive exchanges in general. They always seem to be sort of at a slight net loss. Just the rail there Rafa dealing with. If he had the machine gun out, he possibly could have got himself a kill. But it's in the end a 1-for-1 between the two teams as we lead up to the next quad damage.
Well, as you were saying about power-ups, you know, pompa came within 3 off the last quad, but within 30 seconds of that quad failing or finishing, they were down to 7 again. So they're definitely using like the power-ups they do get to get closer, but it's the time in between the power-ups, as you mentioned, that's just really not been solid enough out of them. That's going to be a direct rock that hits phase. Dehang gets a second, and you know what? That almost guarantees himself a quad. Dehang, he's relatively healthy at 95 HP. Should at least net 1 kill off this, potentially a second. Why is FaZe sitting there when they could have maybe focused on Pakawa?
He's looked like he's waiting. He's trying to set a trap between the teleporter, because he can't be seen immediately on the teleporter exit, and he comes in and manages to take him out. That's a amazingly nice position for FaZe. There's only about a half of the quad left when he takes it, but I like the thinking behind it.
Does steal it and does prevent them from being even more deadly with the quad. It also gives them a little bit of control as they're able to get Mega. Gonna drop down. This should be an easy kill with the hang, yeah. And then Rafa with the rail above Heavy and the rocket. It's gonna be enough to kill him. 41 to 28, and it's just slowly slipping further and further away for Pompa now.
Yeah, a little bit greedy moving onto the Heavy when Rafa was holding that upper position. Being able to do a bit of damage from far back would help out a lot, or just not overcommitting to the item. Sometimes you see a big item, you're like, God, I want to pick it up so much, but you don't really realize how much health and armor you're going to be sacrificing to take it in the first place. You better to bait an enemy into it, get them to take it, and then punish them for it.
I was actually trying to distract both of them. Unfortunately, FaZe, I don't think the other angle with the rail has been able to hit the shots and be able to connect at least one there. But with 43 frags, they're down by 12. Maybe we can get to the next protection, but Pompa, we need to see them stick together. They need to group up here. They need to stay healthy somehow. That was unfortunately going to suicide. He's killing a Rafa, and FaZe is going to go down while he only had 39 HP to work with.
I would
like it's going to be a Liquid first map. And I actually don't know who chose the map, but I'm assuming Liquid since they were the higher seed.
I'd really like to have seen Pompa setting up earlier for the power-ups. They always seem to come in for the sort of last moment rush, or they play for the respawns, it seems, so that they can make it back in time a few seconds before, where FaZe goes in with, you know, Doom in Berserk.
That's how they got the first quad.
Yeah.
It was him just stealing it right under the noses of Rafa Dehang.
Oh, Rafa with a double kill as he picks up the last protection of the game. We might not even see out all of this power-up. Dehang's picking up another, only 1 frag needed. He's a locked target on FaZe, and that will be 50 to 32. Rafa and Dehang taking the first map.
All right, so looking at that, Pompa, I think, again, they had some decent play when they actually did get the power-ups. The problem was they were just too far and few between for them to have enough to go closer in this game. I mean, we did mention when they did get the first quad, they came with, I think it was the protection. They came within like 3 frags of Liquid, but it was the time after that 30-second window after quad had failed or died out, that they fell behind 7. Like they lost another 4 frags in a row. So a little bit hard for them, I would imagine, and you can see that the map has not been chosen yet. That potentially going over to Blood Run.
Yes.
For them. And I think that's going to be also another strong map for Liquid at the same time.
As long as FaZe and Pakawa can set up earlier for the power-ups and make good plays on them more consistently, I think they could make it even closer, without a doubt. I know Pakawa suffered the most there. He had something like 13 for 30. He was definitely getting picked on a little bit. FaZe actually having a really good game. I believe, I might be wrong, Rafa and Dehang, I believe Dehang was at 28 kills and Rafa on 22. But either way, guys, we're going to take a very short break for a moment, and then we're going to be moving into map 2 between Liquid and Pompa.
Accumulation time.
Welcome back to the Quake 2v2 Open, guys, at Dreamhack Tour 2018. We're going to be jumping back into the game between Pompa and Liquid in just a second. We're going to be moving over to Ruins, but we just happened to see Awoken, a 50-32. Did you take anything from that game?
That we should definitely try Strog and Visor on the map.
Yeah.
We did try Strog. It's actually really fun. Really good.
Strog is
really
fantastic.
It has potential to be really good. The funny thing is, I think with Strog, the better you're playing, actually he's a snowball champion, so the better you're playing, obviously the more kills you're getting, the more healing you get, and the more overstack you can get, which is then makes you stronger the longer it goes on. So a very kind of fun champion to play. On the map, it was a breath of life for me for the Pompa side. It was nice to see that they were playing well.
Yeah.
The power play, like you mentioned, was a little bit weak, a little bit lacking, not getting there in time or getting there a little bit too late. But when they did have power-ups, they converted it into multiple kills, and that's what I like to see.
That was it. The few times they got it, they actually probably had more effect in one power-up run than any of the individual power-up runs that Liquid had, but it's just it happened so infrequently that they couldn't get the most out of it. But guys, we are about to jump into game now to see if Pompa can make it even closer on their map pick. We're in Ruins of Sarnath, and I'm on Pukava to start with in the preliminary seconds of the game. Let's have a quick look at the scoreboard and what we're dealing with. We have got Galena Visor combinations to be expected, I think, on this map. So many spots for the Galena to be hiding totems. We're going to have a,
it's a good trade.
A ruckus, and it looks like FaZe is on the back end of that, making it a 2-for-1 in favor of Pompa.
Yeah, Pikawa coming in from behind, just absolutely destroyed to hang with the rockets, and then was able to hit a nice fatty onto Rafa. That's some close. I would have switched to LG here. I'm actually not sure why he's using the rail still, especially in that close proximity. It's going to cost him his life in the end. He did a lot of damage to Rafa. But Raph is still alive, and Rafa got the kill.
Yeah, he would have liked to have taken that heavy himself, and I totally agree. A lightning gun could have been more favorable. Maybe he was just banking on hitting that one last shot before it was taken, but, you know, if you miss those rails, you're costing your team a huge amount. Whoa, that direct up the bounce pad, and he's got the rail to follow it up. That's 3-3, but there's a totem. Picava already placing them in sneaky spots.
Again, this is a map that we talked, or at least I was talking about yesterday, of being one of the few maps out there that it's more viable to put the totems down as a way to heal your team versus being aggressive with it and trying to do damage. Obviously, putting them outside teleporters is never going to be a bad thing, but having those like 2, maybe 3 totems that you can just rely on being there to heal up with if you're obviously the visor of your team or even the Galena is always so strong and always so important.
You can see FaZe now trying to control those hourglasses best he can. Does walk into a totem a bit, but we'll find a piercing sight rail soon as possible. He's actually landing, well, 160 damage so far, and he's going to find 100 right at the end, so a great amount of damage done by FaZe.
Now, I'm actually curious about your thoughts of this. Like, the Doom Galena combo was originally so good on a lot of different reasons, but one major reason, actually, sorry, I'll get to this, like, his quad's about to come up here. FaZe, he needs to hit this rail, he needs to take down one of the member. Dehang's going to get the quad, but he's actually trapped into a really rough spot. He can heal up his own totem, but again, FaZe, he's not hitting the rail onto him, and he will survive. And Dehang is actually able to heal up here and now get the heavy armor to look for a spree to catch up Akawa. Not sure exactly where FaZe is, but looks like Rafa's been actually able to spot him out and go for the chase.
We saw a lot of missed rails there. Although FaZe was hitting some great shots, when it came down to it, he was missing out the rails, when in fact a machine gun switch possibly would have got them the quad. You could see that Dehang didn't have much HP left when the quad run started. And I just would love to see FaZe not overcommitting to that weapon so much. See some Disruptor coming out, but unfortunately again FaZe not able to defend that heavy. We've got Picava trying to make it in. He does get the heavy armor himself, but is it worth the sacrifice? Again, now FaZe comes back in. Is Dehang going to be able to hold off this attack? He's got a totem, will heal up once again, and he might even be able to survive this and push FaZe away. Either way, that's an astonishing play from Dehang.
A lot of damage, yeah, and just to survive, to be that constant nuisance, he's been that focal point for Picava and FaZe, and they're not able to finish him off in these situations where they should be able to, and he's actually still alive. But I was trying to say, like, the Doom Galena combo was pretty strong back then, because not only did people not use LG as much, but the fact that Doom doesn't really need to use those hourglasses as much as the Visor does. So that's kind of like the one downside of Galena and Visor, is that you're both competing for these hourglasses, which make it even more important for your team to deny them away from the other team. But obviously you do have the upside of having vision and healing within your abilities, so.
Oh, completely. Oh god, totem right at the top of the arches.
Nailed it.
About 14-7, although the very early stages was good for Pompa. They fell at that power-up, and we saw Liquid picking up a lot of kills with it.
I mean, you could technically look at if and not to like harsh on too much, but if FaZe hit those rails or did use machine gun at the quad, would it have been a different story? Because they would have gotten quad then.
It would have been a totally different story.
And the momentum would have been more in their hands. It looks like, actually, they're going to be able to pick up the protection. I'm not sure where Dehang was, but he was in the position to help secure this power-up.
Yeah, we saw Liquid actually very separate from each other, and even though I thought that Pompa was getting a late attack going on the protection themselves, so slightly mysterious. Let's see if they can pick up a lot. FaZe, he loves to move around the map as quickly as possible. He's going to try and pick up some more. Dehang is going to go down. They've now brought it between two. He's going to get piercing sight that he might use at the end. Well, you can already see an enemy. And giving that information over to Picava, going to help out a lot, but unfortunately he doesn't do any damage on it, and you really want to maximize that output while you're using a piercing sight. Well,
at least they didn't get any deaths from it either, because they were about to go with that jump pad, but then they saw Rapid Dehang just waiting for them to come up in that spot and just peek their heads. There's potential to not die as well. And I definitely agree, like, you need to look at least for 1-2 potential rails during that piercing sight just to make it even more effective. FaZe, again, he's, like I said, maybe overcommitting to the rails. I would love to see his accuracy, but it doesn't seem to be that high at the moment.
Uh-oh, nail gun. It's going to hurt a lot. Totem comes down. Oh my god, he put the totem behind the pillar and then sandwiched him with a nail gun. So one way or another, he was going to be falling at that point. Rafa's so weak, but just has got the mega health to rejuvenate him a little bit.
Seemed like maybe a missed call out of Pompa there too, because with FaZe dying and coming back, they wanted to rush Mega and actually challenge out on it, but all he had was the machine gun because he just freshly respawned back in. Dehang, he's going to get taken down. He will be locked out of that one. So Pompa able to get another 2 on the board. And they're keeping a relatively close game, 17-15. I thought it was a lot different than until I looked at the scores.
It's been really nice from them. The second power-up run 2 has been excellent. We're getting a lot of rails from FaZe, but again, he's just so rail heavy, but this time he's landing those shots. He's going to get a totem in. Now he goes in with the LG. He's got FaZe over on the other side, but Dahang with the 1 versus 2. It's going to allow Rafa to secure the quad damage, and now Pompa team are going to have to be incredibly careful.
He's got no vision though, but he does have
rockets.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be hard for him to get the information to find where they are, but he just pick up some hourglasses and gets another shot into Pakawa. That's now 2 for this man in this quad run. He's going to definitely get a 3rd here.
Bye-bye. That's, yeah.
Maybe a 4th.
Those about Pakawa.
Those should... 5th?
Oh
really?
my god.
The enemy team getting 2 kills against you with quad, that's fine. But then when you rush in 3 more times for him and you didn't even do any damage to him, that's when you kind of might have been made a mistake. Maybe you should have held your spawns a little bit longer or ran away.
Yeah, I don't think they did hold their spawns at all, and you can see that probably 1 or 2 of them were not pleasant for him. They just were right in the path of Rafa. And then we also saw a totem frag as well. I mean, that's a huge swing in the favor of Team Liquid.
Got to pick up that 10 frag lead. FaZe, it's another fantastic rocket, but he doesn't have the help to jump back into the Mega, and Dahang is going to take advantage of that situation, jumps on top of Mega, gets the kill, and takes him to a 10 frag lead. Rafa's going to get flanked from behind. He's only got the rail to use.
It's just all of a sudden, really, is what it feels like. Just a small
It's the Maestro EU thing. Second power up. I think like Liquid is probably, with how methodical they are, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're one of the most difficult teams that if you get behind against to come back from, because once they get that control against you, I think they're just gonna maintain that control, and they're gonna stranglehold you around the entire map of all the resources.
Yeah, they're not going to let anything get to them. They're not going to let anything sort of slow them down. They're very good at just executing their strategy. And if the strategy's working, then what are you going to be doing against it? Another 2 for nothing there. You see some of the Pompa players trying to refrag somehow, but in the end, Liquid are picking up those resources afterwards, healing their wounds after the fights, and they are re-energized to go again. We've got the protection spawned. Neither of the Pompa players are ready to pick it up.
Oh, look at that. That was so pretty. He went to, sorry, Dahang, he went to heavy before protection came up because he knew the timing of it. They knew the timing of Mega, so he dropped down, picked up protection, rocket jumped straight into Mega as it spawned in, and he had such an overstack that Pompa just can't, there's no way you're going to kill him in this protection. I feel like they should just back away, give him control of the map, don't lose any more deaths because you're down by so many frags now at this point. You need to stop throwing your lives away.
Well, when they saw Dahang rocket jump towards the Mega and pick it up, at that point they should say, we can't do enough damage now to kill him. Because, I mean, it's pointless. They could have split and gone different directions, and maybe Dahang would have only taken down 1 of them, but you know, they decided to fight it, being over-aggressive. You know, remember, this isn't an elimination game right now. We are in the winner bracket, so loser of the match is going to go down to the lower bracket and still be able to fight for their life and also to get through to day 3. But it could be setting them back a little bit. Hopefully for Pompa's sake, they're going to learn a lot, though, from this experience, because unless they can pull off a remarkable comeback, it's they are heading to that loser bracket.
And then you'll play against the loser of AMD, which is Koyonatromi, or Maestro. Sorry, Maestro EU, which is Razy Sparty. So it doesn't necessarily get any easier for you into the elimination match.
No, not at all. Those are also 2 incredibly highly respected teams on the online circuit.
I know you said Latromi mentioned that, you know, Pompa, they're actually pretty scared of them compared to like Maestro. But I feel like Pompa would be more than happy to play a team they know. Like they've scrimmed against before many times, like a European team, then a North American team that they haven't had the ability to practice and feel out their style.
It's possible. I don't even know what the Pompa practice regime has been like, and honestly, who their main partners have been. Again, they've been staying very much under the radar with their practices. Yeah, they're just kind of cool, because when you see them on land, it's like, well, we don't know what to expect. And getting through to day 2 has been really nice from them so far.
Next quad's coming up, though. Spawning right in.
Go further.
Pakawa, he's dropped so low in HP. FaZe gets a great kill. Can they get the second, though? Dahang's gonna get 1. He's gonna get 2. And he will escape with his life. He's got enough HP. Actually, 1 zoom rail would have finished that off. There's 2 rails being fired at him. And neither of them, unfortunately, did not land. Pakawa comes in, he gets quad. But can he get a big roll off of this?
It needs to be colossal if he wants a chance at coming back. Totem up, trying to get some more weapons. It's going to run into 1. The LG is hurting a lot, but he does take down Rafa. Needs a bit of healing, but only a couple of frags back when they manage to pick up the quad. it's not really enough. And there's Rafa chasing behind and refragging, giving themselves only 5
That was
to lock
pretty.
down this.
That was
Oh my
really
God.
pretty. Because when you hit a jump pad and you go up the shaft, you're like in a straight trajectory, and people expect where you're going to be. So he rocket jumps halfway up to actually change where he's going, so he's not easy to be susceptible to a lot of damage. That was really well done. That just shows like the advanced thinking of Dahang.
I think if there was lightning gun on him, maybe it could have gone very differently. But
Yeah.
I think he read the he knew what weapon he was being attacked, and he's like, right, let's switch things up a bit and not make give them that obvious trajectory.
We're into the final seconds of this first match. Kawa's going to fight back, so they're not done just yet, but with 1 frag to go and honestly 3.5 minutes left on the time, I don't really see this as being a potential throw out of Liquid.
10 HP left, and that is going to eventually be a Pompa player falling 50 to 28, 29 in the end there.
Something like that.
Liquid making it through to the winner bracket final of Group A. And we will get to see them a little bit more later.
I'm excited for that.
I gotta give a shout out though to Pompa, because I think there was a lot of really positive moments they can take from that. The start of Ruins was, I think, better than anything they had played on Awoken as well.
Really?
Yeah, they had some good work with the power up, but again, it's not that consistency isn't there.
Okay.
There's really the full-time coordination and constant pressure from Rafa and Dahang. And I think with more experience, more practice, more play from Pikava and FaZe, then they can continue to break through.
You know, now that I think about it, we still have yet to see Liquid, Team Liquid 1 be challenged, like to be pushed to the brink. And I feel like there's a potential we might get